Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we are talking about two words that are genuinely one of the most famous spelling traps in the English language. These words are on every list of commonly confused words. They confuse native speakers all the time, and mixing them up in professional writing is one of those errors that people notice. But today we are going to make sure you never mix them up again.
Yes, and what is so interesting about this pair is that both words are pronounced in exactly the same way. You cannot hear the difference. The only place the difference exists is in the spelling. So this is really a topic about writing correctly, not about speaking differently.
The two words today are stationary, spelled S-T-A-T-I-O-N-A-R-Y, and stationary, spelled S-T-A-T-I-O-N-E-R-Y. The entire word looks identical except for one letter, the second to last group of letters. One has A-R-Y and the other has E-R-Y.
Stationary with an A at the end means not moving, standing still, fixed in one place, not in motion.
Stationary with an E at the end means writing materials. Pens, pencils, paper, envelopes, notebooks, and similar items used in writing and correspondence.
Not moving versus writing materials. Those two meanings could not be more different from each other, and yet the spellings are so similar that people confuse them constantly.
Let us go deep into each word. Stationary with an A first.
Stationary is an adjective. It describes something that is not moving or not intended to move, fixed in one position, remaining still.
The car was stationary at the traffic lights. The car was stopped, not moving. Stationary.
The population of the town remained stationary for several decades. The number did not increase or decrease, it stayed the same. Stationary.
A stationary bicycle is an exercise bike that does not move from its position. You pedal, but it stays in one place. Stationary.
The satellite remained stationary above the Earth. It stayed fixed in one position relative to the ground. Stationary.
So, anytime something is not moving, not changing, fixed in place or unchanging in amount or position, the word is stationary with an A.
Stationary is used in traffic, in science, in mathematics, in engineering, in any context where the idea of being still or fixed is being described.
Traffic stationary in both directions. The economy has been stationary for 2 years. The target was stationary, so it was easier to hit. She stood stationary at the door, not sure whether to enter.
All of those use stationary because something is not moving or not changing.
Now stationary with an E. Stationary is a noun. It refers to materials used for writing. Paper, envelopes, pens, pencils, notebooks, folders, paper clips, staplers, sticky notes, and similar items used in writing and office work.
She bought stationery for her new office. Pens and notepads and folders. Writing materials. Stationery.
The wedding invitations were printed on beautiful cream stationery, high-quality writing paper and envelopes. Stationery.
The school supplied all students with basic stationery at the beginning of term. Writing and drawing materials. Stationery.
He ran a small stationer's shop in the town center. A shop selling writing and office supplies. Stationery.
So, stationery is always about physical objects used for writing and correspondence, paper products, writing instruments, and related office supplies.
Stationery is often used in a professional context. Company stationery means the headed paper and envelopes with the company name and logo printed on them. She wrote the letter on official company stationery.
And stationery shops or stationery departments in large stores sell everything you need for writing, organizing, and office work.
Now let me give you the memory trick that makes this pair permanently unforgettable. This trick is so good that once you know it, you will never spell either word incorrectly again.
Please share it, because this is genuinely one of the best memory tricks in English spelling.
Here it is. Stationary with an E has an E in it, and stationary is for envelopes. E for envelopes. When you think of stationery, think of envelopes, and you will always know it needs an E.
E for envelopes. Stationary. That is brilliant and so clean. The envelope connection locks the spelling in perfectly.
And stationary with an A has an A in it. And stationary means standing still. You could think of A for at a standstill, or A for anchored, or simply A for the car is at a stop.
So E for envelopes gives you stationary, A for anchored or at a standstill gives you stationary. Two different letters, two clear connections.
Another trick that some people find helpful is this. Stationer is a person who sells stationery, like a butcher sells meat or a baker sells bread. The stationer sells stationery. Stationer ends with ER and stationary ends with ERY. The shop owner and the goods they sell share the same spelling pattern.
A stationer with an E sells stationary with an E. The person and the product match.
Whereas stationary, the adjective meaning not moving, has no connection to a person or a shop. It is a descriptive word about movement and position.
Now, let me talk about some real-life situations where this distinction matters, because I think grounding vocabulary in real life helps it stick.
Sure. In traffic reports and driving contexts, stationary always means not moving. Traffic is stationary on the motorway. The vehicle was stationary when it was hit from behind. All lanes stationary due to an accident ahead.
In these contexts, anyone who writes stationary with an E instead of stationary with an A would be making a clear written error.
In office supply and school contexts, stationary always means writing materials. Please order more stationery for the office. The stationery cupboard needs restocking. All stationery purchases require approval.
In these contexts, anyone who writes stationary with an A instead of stationary with an E would also be making a clear written error.
So, the context almost always makes it clear which one you need. Traffic and position equals stationary with an A. Writing supplies and paper equals stationary with an E.
Now, let us talk about some related words and phrases, because knowing the word family helps everything feel more connected.
From stationary with an A, we get the idea of geosynchronous orbit in science. A satellite in geosynchronous orbit appears stationary from the ground because it moves at the same rate as the Earth rotates, so it stays in the same position relative to any point on the surface.
And in mathematics and physics, a stationary point is a point where a function reaches a maximum, minimum, or saddle point, a point where the rate of change is zero. The function is momentarily stationary.
In everyday life, we talk about stationary vehicles a lot. The police said the vehicle was stationary at the time of the collision. Stationary refers to position and movement in legal, insurance, and accident contexts.
From stationary with an E, we get the stationery industry, which includes all companies that manufacture and sell paper products, writing instruments, and office supplies.
And personal stationery refers to customized writing paper and envelopes, often with someone's name or initials printed at the top. A thoughtful and elegant personal gift is a set of personalized stationery.
And business stationery refers to all branded written materials a company uses. Letterheads, business cards, envelopes, compliment slips, all printed with the company branding.
The stationery aisle in a supermarket, a stationery order for the office, a beautiful piece of stationery. These are all everyday uses.
Now, let us go through the most common mistakes learners and even native speakers make with these two words.
Mistake number 1 is writing stationery when you mean stationery for writing materials. Saying, I need to pick up some stationery before school. The correct spelling is stationary. Writing supplies are stationary with an E.
Mistake number 2 is writing stationary when you mean stationary for not moving. Saying the car was completely stationary when the accident happened. The correct spelling is stationary. Not moving is stationary with an A.
Mistake number 3 is not having a reliable memory trick and just guessing every time. Without a clear connection in your mind, you'll keep making the same mistake. The E for envelopes trick solves this permanently.
Mistake number 4 is not knowing that stationery can refer to branded business paper. Some learners only think of stationery as pens and pencils and are confused when someone talks about company stationery, meaning headed paper and envelopes.
Mistake number 5 is not knowing that stationery is used in professional and technical contexts, like science, engineering, and traffic reporting. Some learners only associate stationery with everyday stillness and miss its technical uses.
Mistake number 6 is not knowing the word stationer. If you hear or read that someone works as a stationer and you do not know the word, you might be confused. A stationer sells stationery. Knowing the person helps you remember the product.
And mistake number 7 is treating this as an unimportant spelling detail. In professional writing, this is one of those mistakes that educated readers notice. A business email talking about ordering more stationery when they mean stationery will catch the eye of anyone who knows the difference.
In professional communication, spelling these words correctly signals careful attention to language. It's a small thing, but it matters in formal contexts.
Now, let us do a quick practice round. I'll describe a situation and you choose stationary or stationary and explain why.
Ready.
A car stops at a red traffic light and waits.
Stationary. The car is not moving. It is fixed in position at the lights. The car is stationary.
A student needs to buy pens, a notebook, and some highlighters before term begins.
Stationary. Writing and study materials. She needs to buy stationery. E for envelopes.
A planet that appears to stay in the same position in the sky night after night.
Stationary. Fixed in apparent position. The planet appears stationary from this point of observation.
A company wants to order headed paper and matching envelopes with their logo.
Stationary. Branded business writing materials. They want to order company stationery.
A runner stops completely during a race and does not move for several seconds.
Stationary. The runner is not moving. The runner became stationary.
A shop specializing in selling notebooks, pens, paper, and office supplies.
A stationery shop. It sells writing and office materials. A stationery shop.
A flag hanging completely still without any wind to move it.
Stationary. Not moving. The flag hung stationary in the still air.
A beautiful set of personalized writing paper given as a birthday gift.
Stationary. Writing paper and materials. A beautiful set of personalized stationery.
Every answer was perfect, clear and correct every time.
And listeners, I hope you noticed how the E for envelopes trick worked in the background for every stationary answer. Every time you thought of writing materials, you could anchor the spelling to the word envelope.
Every time you write stationary and you see the E in it, think envelope. Every time you write stationary and you see the A, think anchored, at a standstill, not moving.
And the more you write both words correctly, the more naturally the right spelling will come. After a few weeks of writing them correctly, the correct version will start to feel right without you having to think about it.
That's how spelling becomes instinctive, not through memorizing rules, but through using the right spelling repeatedly until it looks and feels natural.
Small wins like this add up. Every word you truly know how to spell correctly is a word you can use confidently in professional emails, in essays, in any written communication. And that confidence is worth having.
Thank you so much for being here today. We hope stationary and stationery feel completely clear and that you feel genuinely ready to use both of them correctly every single time you write them.
Keep going, and we'll see you in the next episode.